In our last session, we read a letter from a woman who was tired of her roommate, Hallie, who was always making demands of her for help and attention. I pointed out how her roommate was acting like a victim and clinging, both reactions to not having enough real love in her life. I also suggested to the writer that she was not obligated to give Hallie everything she demanded. Now, back to the writer of the letter. Ironically, victims create a world in which they can never feel loved. No matter how much attention they receive, they can't feel that they were given anything unconditionally, because real love is both given and received freely. Victims realize deep down that everything they get is only a reward for their manipulations as victims. The bottom line is that if you give in to Hallie, she won't feel loved. So why do it? You won't feel loving, and she won't feel loved. There's simply no useful yield here. So what can you do? You decide what you want to do for Hallie, not what you feel obligated to do. When you give what you want, it's wonderful. You're giving freely, unconditionally, and that is real love. It will feel great to you. If she's unhappy with what you choose to do, with what you give, if she demands that you do more, which is likely with her, simply restate what you're willing to do or give. If she keeps it up, you could ask her whether she would like you to do what you've offered, or whether she would prefer that you did nothing at all. You tell her that she does have two choices, but the two choices are exactly what you've offered or nothing. One of the choices is not more than you've offered. Imagine, for example, that she asks you to take her to 4 places to do errands, and you decide that you have the time, energy, and inclination to take her to only 2 of those places. If she becomes demanding or angry, what can you do? If you give in and agree to take her everywhere she wants, you're making yourself a prisoner. Don't do that. Instead, clearly state what you are willing to do. You might say something like this: Hallie, I'd love to take you to this place and that place, 2 places, but that's all I have time for today. What I'm offering you is a gift, and now you have the right to either accept it as it is or to reject it. In other words, I can either take you to these 2 places or I can take you nowhere. It's just like a Christmas present, really. If I give you a Christmas present, you can either accept it or reject it. But it really wouldn't be reasonable, would it, for you to say, no, I want you to go back to the store and get something else. Would it? I mean, what I offer to do for you, I offer freely. But it's no fun for me if you demand more than what I'm offering. So, what would you like me to do? If she continues to be demanding, you may have to make a decision simply to be her roommate, somebody who happens to live in the same apartment or house, rather than trying to be a friend who is more involved in her life. When we serve other people properly, it should be a pleasure that blesses both our lives and the lives of those we serve. But when service becomes a burden, when we do it out of obligation or guilt or whatever, it's not likely that we're helping anyone. And we need to reevaluate what we're doing. Remember, the real purpose of service is real love. It's always about real love.